Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the First Round Show. You're going to have to bear with us this week because Sonny is still living the dream down under in Australia. The boys, the production team, are large in it on the ski slopes somewhere in France or Italy somewhere. So, yeah, we're using technology. But Sonny, I have to say, you're looking well, but you're looking a lot more red than you did last week. What's going on? No sun cream in Australia?
Yeah, no, I had a bit of a nightmare yesterday. I've gone from as I said last week, a rasher of bacon into the territory of a salami. Now I spent 4 hours on a tyre yesterday in a swimming pool, and that was a bad fucking move. Do you want to tell people how good we are with technology? Because we've just done 20 minutes, nigh on 20 minutes, and I am the fucking dickhead who didn't press record.
Yeah, I was gonna let you off the hook there. Yeah, Sonny didn't press record. We were proper giving it some as well. This take isn't going to be as good. It ain't going to be as good. We had Tyson Fury on. We've had everyone on. He didn't press record. But
what a fucking bell end. I'm sorry. So then, we always provide blinding guests on this channel, and we have delivered once again one of the very best boxing managers in the game, Mr. Sam Jones, whose stable is just increasing by the week. Sky Nicholson now, Mr. Sam Jones.
Yeah, that was late last year. Yeah, with Sky now. So looking forward to that this year. She's the interim WBC world champion, so she's got some exciting things coming up there, and hopefully she's gonna headline in Australia in May.
Can I tell you, Sam, I'm in Australia now. I'm speaking to people about boxing. I don't give a monkey's about it over here. Do not give a monkey's about it. I'm trying to get people like, I'm going, oh, do you know this person, like Joe Opetaia? I'm like, I love Joe Opetaia.
I thought you were going to say then,
that?
do you know what? I've been walking around in Sydney, the Gold Coast, and they all know who you are, Sam. They've all been asking about you.
No, do you know, it actually depresses me a little bit because nobody gives a monkey's about boxing over here. I really hope it changes at some point. But anyway.
I think they've got some good fighters, haven't they? They've got a big Terramwana who I think is going to do good things. Obviously, Jai Opetaia's gone and done that thing with Zuffa now, but Sky Nicholson. There's a lot of good Australian fighters to be coming, but especially, like I say, big Terramwana, like he's going to be a problem in the heavyweight division. So I think it's more the Liam Parrow. He's fighting Crocker-Rini. That's going to be going to be interesting. But hopefully it picks up.
Yeah, really hope so. On to the big things that are coming up. Obviously, Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois has been made official. I know you're probably bored of talking about it right now, but maybe you're not. Just want to know all the details about it, mate. How did it come about? And exciting times. I mean, Daniel Dubois, a lot of people think he's had a bit of a sort of wobbly road lately with leaving Tony Sims and going back to Don Charles. So I, for one, I'm bowled over with this because I'm thinking, well done, Daniel, going into a big fight amongst all this sort of bumfluffery that's been going on lately. And I just think it's an incredible fight.
Boxing is a wobbly road.
Yeah.
Do you know what? No, I'm not bored of speaking about it. I think it's listen, I know Fury Mudov's been announced and Fury's a bona fide massive star. But I think pound for pound out of all the fights being made at the moment, Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois is right up there for styles. No. You can't. Somebody's getting flattened, aren't they? Let's be honest about the situation. Somebody's getting flattened. I really like Fabio Wardley. I'm not just saying he's actually a friend of mine. I really respect him as well. The way I don't think he's been given his flowers enough on what he's actually achieved, because even though sometimes it gets diluted when you get upgraded to full champion status, but he beat Joseph Parker. He was getting peppered against Justice Hooney, pulled a bat out of his pants and chinned him. He's done really well, Fabio. I really do respect him a lot. And his first voluntary defense, he wants to fight Daniel Dubois. So all we can do is take our hat off to Fabio and thank him for the opportunity. Even though Daniel is the commercial bigger name, it takes two to tango, and this is going to be an absolute. We get confused, don't we, in boxing about this is pay-per-view. What's pay-per-view? That's not pay-per-view. This is a joke. This is a pay-per-view fight. This is two big British heavyweights in their prime. Nobody's too old or too young. This is two big boys in their prime. arguably the biggest punches in the division, and they're going to go right at it, and it's going to be chaos. So I'm looking forward to be a part. That's the reason why I'm involved in boxing. The fight was really easy to make, especially when all parties want the fight. Queensbury have done a great job. George and Frank Warren done a fantastic job getting the fight on, and from both sides, Team Dubois and Team Wardley. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster.
Could this not have done Tottenham?
I think so. But look, it's going to be in Manchester, which a great city for boxing at the Co-op Live. I mean, I've been to the Co-op a few times. Jack Catterall headlined there a few times. It's a beautiful, stunning venue, isn't it? The Co-op Live, and it's going to be packed. You're not going to be able to get it unless you're quick. When the tickets go on sale, you're not going to get tickets. It's going to be that type of event who everybody wants to go to. And honestly, I cannot wait. I really can't wait. And I honestly believe Daniel Dubois is going to be a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. I really honestly believe that.
Sam, how is the big man doing mentally? Obviously, was with Tony for a short period of time, gone back to Don Charles. I've not spoke to Tony. What was the reason behind that, mate?
Tony will tell you himself. It's just a case of not really gelling. Tony Sims is an amazing trainer. He's an amazing trainer. I speak to Tony all the time. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the best, arguably the best in the country. Tony's an amazing coach. Just didn't gel. Don Charles is good for Daniel, and Daniel is good for Don Charles, and that's just, there's people who make out of it's more than what it is, because there's always got to be a reason, and there's no reason. It's just Daniel feels more comfortable with Don Charles, and that's it. That's all there is. That's all there is to it.
I want to ask you this, Sam. I can't ask the fighters it, but I'm just intrigued with how the landscape at heavyweight division's playing out. If Daniel Dubois was to win this fight, where does he go next?
When you've got the championship belt round your waist, it opens the door, doesn't it? Look, Fabio can't overlook Daniel, and Daniel can't overlook Fabio. I'm not just speaking like I'm just telling you how it is. When you've got somebody that can switch your lights off in a split second, like Wardley and Daniel, you can't really look what's ahead. But like, you look at Fury fighting Mudov, he's coming back. There's if Anthony Joshua decides he wants to carry on, I know. Listen, Anthony's had a lot going on as well. But listen, I would love to see AJ, even if he didn't fight one of these. I'd love to see AJ fight again. I'm a massive AJ. I'm an AJ fanboy, so I'd like to see him back. But the heavyweight division is on fire at the moment. You got Moses Itauma, who's probably the most talked about fighter in the world at the moment across all divisions. There's so many. You've got Wilder and Mad Derek fighting at the O2. It's all happening, isn't it? In the heavyweight division, there's so many. It'll open up a lot more doors for Daniel. Even though if you look at Daniel Dubois' heavyweight CV, it's nothing short of phenomenal at the age of 28.
Yeah, agreed. What would you say to the people who think he may not deserve this shot over some other fighters? For instance, like a Kabayel. What do you say to the people who are saying
Do you know what I'd say, Sonny? If you have a problem with Fabio Wardley against Daniel Dubois, boxing ain't for you guys. Boxing ain't for you. Go and watch something else. Go and watch UFC or karate or whatever. Boxing's not for you guys. If you have any kind of problem with Daniel Dubois against Fabio Wardley, do you know how we say, that shouldn't go to the cards? Somebody is getting knocked the fuck out in that fight.
Absolutely.
What do you want more than that? Two heavyweights and with vicious styles that want to knock you out. Like you're getting a barnstormer. So yeah, in answer to your question, if you've got a problem with Daniel Dubois fighting Fabio Wardley, boxing ain't for you.
Yeah, well said. Moving on to one of your other fighters, Pat Brown has had his fight announced against Dukar. And I was just doing my research beforehand.
He's just messaged me now, a very angry message. Yeah.
Well, literally just now.
just this second, just come onto my screen, the angriest man in the world, Pat, at the moment. He's like an angry barbarian.
So it makes him a good fighter.
Whoever fights him, good luck, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the only fighter I've ever worked with in my life, right? And I've done this 10 years. I'm actually quite scared of.
Well, this is a big step up. I was doing research beforehand, and this guy took Billum Smith all the way, Kevin Lorena, Chev Clark, and Jordan Thompson. So
gave them all kittens as well.
Up.
Yeah, I'm pleased you've recognised it because I was thinking, surely people aren't going to complain about that. Look, we wanted to fight the English champion, and he's been advised correctly to not do that fight. Great work. And then we've just looked at who's next and who's going to kind of give Pat a few rounds. We do need the rounds, but I just think pound for pound, Pat's one of the biggest punchers in the world already. I know people are going to clock onto that, but speak to Dave Allen. Dave Allen, you know, he's like, he doesn't lie about stuff like that. He says it's the hardest he's ever been hit. He's a left up by Pat Brown. I just think with Dukar's going to ask those questions of Pat about taking him. But I just think when Pat does catch him right, he's going.
Sam, we had Eddie on last week, and I just want to see if your thoughts align with Eddie's. He's saying a potential fight with Opetaia, maybe the end of the year or the start of 2027. Are you game for that?
He's got a smirk on his face.
Darren, I'm trying not to say it without smirking. I honestly believe Pat would beat every cruiserweight there is now. I would get an order of a lie detector test, and I'll do it. I honestly think he would do. I think he beats all of them. But there is a process to follow, and when you're as good as Pat, you don't want to fumble it. You want to do things the correct way, which is the reason why we wanted to fight English champion. That's now not happening. Not bothered about that. We move on. We fight Dukar, and Dukar. If you look at the stages in career, the Billum Smiths, look when they fought Dukar, and Chris Billum Smith's a great fighter. Pat's boxing him in his 6th fight. This is the 2nd time Pat's headlining 6 fights. We are moving him quickly, but we're doing it with a strategy. We're not just we know he's amazing, so we're not just skipping chapters. But when he does fight, I know you're going to clickbait the life out of this. You're going to go all Kugan Cassius on me. When he does fight Jai Opetaia, he will beat him. And anybody that wants to bet me otherwise, come and see me.
That was going to be my next question. So John Hedges, are you saying that S-Jam and Adam Morelli, they didn't really want that opportunity?
Yeah, because Adam's got a brain. Adam's a clever man, and that's the best decision for them. I was telling them to really. I mean, we were looking at the belt, not the person that's got the belt. I signed John Hedges when he was a young kid, and John's a really good fighter, but he does not need Pat Brown in his life. He doesn't.
I know what you mean?
He doesn't. That's a. Whoever's advising him is advising him correctly. So that's what, and so you've not just gone for the money grab. So fair play to Adam and whoever's looking after John Hedges, his coach. Well done, because you're keeping him away from a barbarian animal.
So Sam, is the strategy obviously to keep him busy before he potentially takes on someone like a Jai Opetaia? You've got 2 routes, haven't you? You've got the traditional route, and I know you said forget the English, but how about the British European? I know Vidal Riley operates. He's fighting for the European title, right?
He's fighting Masterneck, isn't he?
Masterneck, yeah, for the European title. Or do you go down the international route? What avenue do you think Pat Brown goes down?
When people get the contract to fight Pat Brown, they're not really overly eager to do it, so they have to get overpaid, which I'm sure Eddie's not too pleased about. But after this, we have to concentrate on Dukar because he's a nuisance, Dukar. But we just want to have gradual step-ups each time. But if you look at Pat's record, maybe other than one, the kid he boxed in Birmingham, they've all really come to have a go. And we're all with winning records. So it just shows what kind of man Pat is, because Pat's not interested in fighting a journeyman that's just going to fall over. They are just falling over because he's he's clumping them with heavy shots. So it's but no, Pat's an amazing fighter. He really is. So I'm looking forward to his career.
We've lost Sonny.
Yeah, we've lost Sonny. He looked like he was a captive in Australia. Like in that the Wi-Fi was
musical interviews. Well, look, I'll crack on anyway. Another one of your fighters we mentioned before we went live, Jack Catterall. Exciting time for Jack, really. I mean, if there's anyone in your stable that you'd be desperate to win a world title, surely it'd be Jack. Obviously, hard done against Taylor.
Yeah.
But he potentially has a fight with Ramirez, am I right?
Yeah, look, when it comes to Jack, Jack's one of my closest friends, Darren. He really is. He's one of my close friends. I love him to pieces. And I'm desperate to do it. I get messages from people, from Chorley specifically, going, "What? You need to get him a world title fight. This is..." I'm trying... In the whole time we've been with Jack, right, we've positioned him, haven't we? We've got him to Barboza, where he had the chance to fight for the interim world title, because nobody is voluntarily fighting Jack Catterall for a world title. They're just not doing it unless you overpay them crazy amounts of money. So we're now in a position where we lost to Barboza. Jack lost to Barboza, razor-thin decision. We've rebuilt. We had a bit of a stinker against Harlem Eubank, but it was an easy fight for Jack. Easy, no problems. Won that fight. Had a great fight with Echo Esserman, which is what everybody wanted to see. They wanted to see more aggression. And Jack took himself away to Philadelphia to kind of not reinvent himself, but just kind of have a different outlook and a different approach. So he's got that. He won a great fight with Echo Esserman in front of 60,000 people, huge platform. And now he's WBO number one. We've got him back to where he was kind of a few fights ago. We've had to kind of reset and go up a weight and do that. So now it's just a case of we're going to wait and wait on the WBO. Great organization, Gustavo Olivieri, to push Jack as a mandatory challenger for Devin Haney. But in the meantime, Jack suffered a lot over the years. Few years back, he suffered with inactivity. Jack, his career. So there's no way Jack's sitting on the shelf waiting for something to happen. So this opportunity looks like it's coming around to potentially fight Ramirez in Fresno, in LA, in Ramirez's hometown, where he packs the place out. There'll be 15,000 people in there, right? However much it holds, Ramirez sells out. I've been there a couple of times when Ramirez fights, because I've had fighters on the undercard, funnily enough. And Jack's going to go there, Lion's Den, and fight Ramirez there. And hopefully we get that done in the next few days. And then after that,
date-wise, sorry, Sam, on that.
End of May. End of May.
Would that be Matchroom?
Yeah, Matchroom show, yeah.
Lovely. Exciting times. And then obviously try and transition into the WBO fight after that.
Absolutely. So after that fight, they will hopefully call, they will, I know they will. Fantastic organization. They're going to call Jack to fight the champion, which is Devin Haney. I don't think Devin Haney will fight Jack in a million years. So I think that we'll see what happens there.
And Conah Walker.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, boxing's not for you if you don't like the Wardley Dubois or you don't think he deserves it. If you don't like Conah Walker, then again, boxing isn't for you. How can you not love that man? He brings value to every single fight he's in. Any news on Conor you can share with us?
Yeah, so I've been speaking to Frank Smith, and listen, it's no secret, we had the fight done for Lewis Crocker in Belfast.
Right.
Both sides agreed. And unfortunately, the IBF have enforced Liam Parrot to fight Crocker. So it is what it is. We have to continue the momentum. He's coming off an unbelievable year and an amazing win against Pat McCormack. So the next best thing for Conor is, he's always said to me, please let me headline Wolverhampton. And the issue is, there's no real big arenas in Wolverhampton. Right. But there's the Civic Hall, which holds a couple of thousand. I'm trying desperately, right, to get Conah Walker to headline there. And there is talks about Echo Esserman. We've offered him the fight. to see if he wants to fight. I think the styles that they both have. I mean, you're looking at me. Yeah, you're looking at me there, Darren. You know what that fight is, don't you? You know what that fight brings. I think it's a great opportunity for Echo Esserman, who's just coming off a loss against Jack Catterall. He was highly ranked. So it's a great opportunity for him. But if he wants to accept it, the fight is there. And if he doesn't, then honestly, good luck to him. I like Echo, I like his team. Good luck. But great opportunity. Hey, look, he's back.
He just nipped back to Mars for a little bit and he's come back. We're just touching on Conah Walker there. The fans' favourite, potentially get a fight back in his hometown. Is it a city or a town?
City.
City. Are you confident?
To be honest with you, no. But
how do you justify a city? Is it if it's got a cathedral? Is that right? Anyway,
you're asking the wrong guy for that, mate.
For another day. I want to pick up on topics away from your stable, Sam. We see Fury Mudov announced officially the press conference last week. Or was it this week?
Yeah, it was this week.
This week, half term froze me. What's your thoughts on that fight? We were sort of saying we'll accept Mudov as an opponent. Decent fight back for Fury. How do you see that one playing out?
I think it's a great fight, but like I don't know. Like, I think it's a great fight. Listen, it's a good fight. It's not a bad one to come back to. But if you ask me as a boxing fan, like this is when I was not even involved with Daniel Dubois. I promise you now, I would be more looking forward to watch Wardley against Dubois. That's just me being honest. But anything involving anything involving Tyson Fury is massive, isn't he? He's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'd imagine Tyson Fury will beat Mudov and then he'll go and fight a trilogy with Usyk, because realistically, Tyson was correct in saying that's where the money is for Usyk, to have a trilogy with Tyson Fury. Whoever likes it or not, that's just the reality. And Usyk's fighting that kickboxer, isn't he? He's fighting that Rico. Is it Van?
Yeah.
Rico Van something. He's fighting him. But yeah, again, Tyson Fury, even though he kind of he divides opinion, doesn't he? But the heavyweight division is bigger with him in it. It is bigger with him in it because you've got great fights to be made. But look, Mudov Fury, great fight, and I'll watch it. Looking forward to it. But I think the best heavyweight fight is Daniel Dubois against Fabio Wardley, live on the Zone pay-per-view.
Yeah. I thought you might say that.
You agree with me as well, Darren? Stop it.
Yeah, what a fight. What a fight. It's incredible. And another incredible fight this Saturday. Just your thoughts and your prediction on Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington 2.
Leigh Wood against Josh Warrington 2. Do you know what? Actually, I think it'll be a better fight than the first time. Because, listen, they're both on the slide. Yeah, they're both on the slide. And I don't think either of them would be upset with me saying that, because I respect both men greatly, right? Two brilliant fighters that have sold arenas out for fun over the last few years. Great servants to British boxing. But they are on the slide. And when you watched Amir Khan against Kell Brook when they were on the slide, it was actually a fun fight, wasn't it? Because it was like, it was fun. Because they were both, their legs were a bit slower, even though Kell Brook was the one. It's going to come down to who's got what left. I honestly do believe that. Leigh Wood's the bigger puncher, so Leigh Wood has always got that that equalizer. Do you know what I always think about Leigh Wood? I promise you, I think about it more often what I should. Imagine Leigh Wood, right, in Nottingham City Centre with a tray of chips and after a night out of his permed hair, a cardigan on and a pair of Converse trainers on, and someone just looks at Leigh Wood and goes, ugh. And tries to imagine, whack, Leigh Wood hitting you with a brick, with them brick hands that he's got. Because Leigh Wood don't look like that, does he? But I think about it all the time with Leigh Wood. He just looks like the most harmless man in the world, but he could switch your fucking lights out with either hand. I went off topic there, but I just think it's quite funny. But no, as to the fight, it's going to be a brilliant fight. Cannot wait for it, and may the best man win.
Yeah, let's finish with this then, Sam. And then we cross over to the States for Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. Does the winner fight Conor Benn?
You would imagine so, yes. You'd imagine so. Conor Benn, I know it upsets people, but Conor Benn's a massive name. He's a massive name. Everyone's calling him out. You got Shakur Stevenson coming off the biggest win of his career in the middle of Madison Square Garden, and the first name that comes out of his mouth is Conor Benn. I know it upsets people, but it's just the reality, innit? He's a massive name. So Conor Benn can pretty much fight whoever he wants.
Wicked stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Sam. Well, look, sorry about the part-timer.
No, it's all right.
Sunny. Sorry that it was just me and you for the majority of that.
I'm a good first reserve, aren't I, lads? You know when you've had these. Listen, you've had all these. You've had an A-lister ready to go, and you're all week, and he's let you down last minute. You thought, do you know who I'm going to call?
You're our A-lister.
The first reserve.
Sam, just quickly, I know we touched on this before, but as Sonny said before we went live, thoughts are with you, mate. I know you're going through it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Thoughts and prayers are with you, mate. And look, I'll are you going to be out there the weekend?
I'm not, mate. No, I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to be a very excited boxing fan on Saturday, tuning into the Zone to watch it.
All right, Sam. Well, look, top man, I know you're busy, so appreciate your time. Yeah. You will forever be our first A-lister. All right, you'll always be.
Listen, I'm all right. I'm all right being with a first reserve. It's no problems.
Sam, no problems I want to fucking ditch Darren and stick you in here every week. Believe me.
Darren's a man of many traits, isn't he, at the moment? He's a commentator, pundit, podcast host. He's fucking everywhere, isn't he?
He's doing the old face-off for Bilal Fawaz on Ishmael Davis as well.
What a man. What a man. He'll be coming out of retirement soon, won't he, Darren? No problems.
There is some news soon, but it's not involving boxing.
Darren, you know, if you had a Misfits fight, be honest with
fighting
me,
John Fury.
I'm interviewing you now, Barker. If you were coming out of retirement, right, and you got an option to fight somebody, right? And don't swerve the question. Who would you fight in a Misfits fight? 6-rounder, loads of dough. Who would you fight?
Guess it'd have to be Jake Paul, wouldn't it?
Jake Paul.
Okay, it would have to be.
Do you reckon you'd do him, Darren? Do you reckon you'd do him, honestly?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
No, who put it on you that time? Who put it on you? You had an interview a while back and they put it on you.
Oh, Austin Ammo Williams.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. No. We had a bit of argy-bargy. But no, it'd have to be Jake Paul. But you will never, ever catch me in a boxing ring ever again. And if you do, I'll be getting paid shitloads of money.
Do you reckon you'd beat a prime John Fury? Would you beat a prime John Fury?
He stuck it on me. He stuck it on me. A couple. When was it? Dubois, AJ. Yeah, he seen me in a corridor, and there was a few people there. And what was worse, he was all right. I've known him years, John. And then he literally just switched, and he got right close.
Steve Bunce.
Yeah. That was sad. That was. You can't. That's out of order, man. You can't be doing that to Bunsley, or anyone for that matter. But yeah, he just went. You said I didn't know anything about boxing, and I went, hold on a minute. No, I didn't say that. I just said I don't think you should really be in the corner of Tyson. I think he should be his trainer, like Sugar Hill at the time. So yeah, he weren't very happy with me, John. He was very upset. But yeah, what about him against Carl Froch in a little cheeky 6-rounder?
Oh, bring it on.
Well, stay tuned. You never know. In this crazy sport of boxing, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Nice one.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
stuff.
Sam.
Yeah, cheers, Sam. You're a legend, mate.
Yeah, later, guys.
Thanks so much.
The press conference last week for the comeback fight of Tyson Fury, Arsenal back Mudov. It's happening. We mentioned the fight, didn't we, last week, but we'll touch on it again. I think we both agree, and most are agreeing, it's an acceptable comeback fight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everyone's agreeing that it's an acceptable comeback fight because at the end of the day, beating Dave Allen is a tough feat. So, good win there. And he's rightly deserving, Mudov, of a higher-end fight. And Fury being a year and a bit out of the ring, it's an acceptable comeback fight. I stand by my own opinion, what I said the other day, that I do think it's an easy fight for him. I think styles make fights, and I just think, Mudov is so wrong for Tyson Fury. We said this a minute ago, but I see him as a kind of a Robert Helenius kind of fighter. And I just, how would Fury fare against someone like that? So I do think it's I'm not going to say a cherry pick. I'm just going to say it's a style that has been chosen in an opponent that is absolutely tailor-made for someone like Tyson Fury, who's, I know he's a little bit older now, but he's still quick enough. He's going to dance rings around Mudov, who tires in fights, and he's just a little bit slow, and his feet are not really there, or they're at least not on any sort of level compared to Tyson Fury. So on that basis, I see this as a very easy night's work for Tyson Fury. And all in all, Des, I'm more interested in what comes after this, because I don't know if people are going to accept another Makhmudov type fighter. I don't expect it to be Usyk, because Usyk's, hovering about with his kickboxer at the minute, and the WBC have ordered Kabayel and Usyk, so I don't expect that to be next. I do expect that to be at the forefront of Tyson's mind. I don't expect it to be next, but who after this is the question that I am intrigued by. So what are you saying?
Well, yeah, 100% Usyk's the man he'll want to be fighting, that's for sure. He wants to right the wrong of the previous two fights. He wants to be the number one, but you're right, he seems a little tired up, Usyk. So he's going to have to wait. Look, one thing for sure is I don't think hanging around is going to be a problem for Tyson Fury, because activity's not been out of this world, is it? So if he's got to sit on his hands after this fight, then I'm sure he'll be happy to. I look at the Wardley Dubois fight. Is that a potential fight that could happen in the autumn if they fight? Obviously, that they are fighting, in May. Could that set the tone for a fight at the end of the year? I don't know. Because how many Makhmudovs will the public let Fury get away with?
Yeah, which is why it's very interesting after this. But I do actually kind of expect it to be someone of that ilk, slightly higher level. I don't expect it to be Fabio or Dubois myself. I mean, if I'm going off history, I mean, potentially, but it's just, that is a fucking terrible style fight to watch. I mean, good God.
Yeah, the thing about your words,
isn't it? Oh, good God. Could you imagine that fight? That'd be like watching fucking matchsticks. Oh, dear. I think after this fight, I don't see it. But if we're going off history, what I was going to say was Frank said he would never put Dubois in with Fury because there's a clash of, Queensbury, Golden Childs, sort of. There's a clash of, Frank's been with Dubois from the start. He's got a very soft spot for Tyson, obviously. So him putting his two golden childs in there, his golden heavyweights as such, outside of Opetaia, who's probably his other golden heavyweight, he said is a difficult thing for him to do. So I'm assuming that if Dubois was to win, then that fight ain't happening. But I'm also assuming that, and I'm probably getting boring because I said this a few times if anyone watched their stuff, I just don't see him fighting Fabio because I just think the jeopardy's too much in terms of it's too much jeopardy to jeopardize the actual Usyk fight that he wants to after that. So why would you fight Fabio in a seriously tough fight where you could get knocked spark out for X amount, sort of, 20 mil or so, whereas you could fight someone else and get through that fight and then get 100 mil for fighting Usyk. The math don't math for me.
And then we've still got to see what happens with Anthony Joshua, didn't we? How the land lies with him, Eddie, assuming that he'll come back. And I don't think AJ's going to want to mess about. I think, where they're in the twilights of their career, I think they're going to want to get this done ASAP. So that's still an option. Somebody that made themselves heard at the press conference was father John Fury. What did you make of that, Sonny?
I want to know, what would you have done if John Fury had been gunning for you when you were standing up there with Ade and Barry Jones? What would you have done? Would you have bricked it?
It would have, I would have got myself away from the situation, not through fear, just because I couldn't be asked with standing in front of that and just being on the end of an onslaught, verbal onslaught. What can you do? Like, Or
I
I
love it.
probably would have just, I would have just been laughing, and it would have wound him up even more.
It was
Yeah,
so good, honestly.
what did Froch do? Did Froch leave, or did he hang about? I've been trying to find like the whole video, but I can't find anything of where I can see Froch in vision.
I don't know. I don't know what Froch did after, but yeah, from what I've seen, John Fury was on the top level, looking down at Carl Froch talking with Lennox Lewis and Anna Woolhouse, and he just threw in some words, John Fury, like, "Oh, you know what I mean? You're doing all these videos and that. You're going to say it to my face." And Carl Froch said, "I don't know what he said, but it was something along the lines of, not now, John. I'm just about to go live." And John's fucking bolted down the stairs, going, "Where are you? Where are you?" And it's like, "He's there, John. Just there. Where are you?" Anyway, do you know what? Speaking to someone yesterday, they said, "Do you think it's all fake? Like every time he does it so often. Do you think it's fake?" And I'm thinking, I don't know. I just think he's got a bit of a screw loose. I just think he's a bit of a fucking lunatic. I like seeing that stuff because it is entertaining. A lot of people will go, "Oh, you don't need that in the sport," but in a way you kind of do sometimes because it just livens it up. You know what I mean? It's like Tyson back in the day, Mike Tyson, when he just, run over to Lennox Lewis and put it on him, didn't he? So the sport does need a little tiny injection of that, in my opinion, every now and again, and it certainly boosted this fight.
I thought me and you might disagree on this topic, but I'm with you. Really, it don't bother me. It don't bother me.
I love it.
Perhaps it did when it first happened, but so what? So what? I think people get offended too easy. Just if that's his way of carrying on, I think he does put it on. If I'm honest with you, because I've spoken to John Fury a few times, and he's probably, from what I can make out, the polar opposite to what I see in those videos. He's knows his boxing. He talks very articulately about it, and passionately. And I think he plays that role, and I think he's happy to play that role. And it just doesn't bother me. So what? Like, if that's what you want to do.
I'm not standing up for him because I know he was a donut and he does it a lot. Like, it is a bit OTT and whatnot, but in a way, like, there's an inkling of me that can understand it because Carl Froch winds up fucking everyone. I mean, you know him well. I bet he's wound you up in the past, like a good one. Do you know what I mean? So he has been making loads and loads of videos, and John Fury's there, like, but don't get me wrong, John Fury said stuff to provoke him to make them videos, but at some point they was always going to be in the vicinity of each other, and it was going to kick off in some regard. The problem with John is that it looks like there's a lot of bluster, as in I'm shouting and I'm screaming, but Carl Froch was within your reach that you could have done something if you really wanted to do something. Do you know what I mean? So whatever. Do you know what though? Afterwards, I watched an interview with Lennox Lewis, and I gained a tiny bit of respect for John because Lennox said he actually did try and fight me. He said we had an offer from John Fury to fight, but we just put it to one side because he weren't a name enough to, make money out of it. But I thought, fair play to you, John. You know what I mean? You got to give it to him. Someone offering out one of the best heavyweights of all time, and he was a world champion at the time when he offered to fight him. So I thought, fair play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I say, it don't bother me. Whatever. It's not how I would want my old man to carry on, but
it's like Daz, isn't it? Not a lot of people know you offered out Golovkin, didn't you? And he said,
"Well, I was offered
Darren Barker. I'm not interested."
I'll take it, and I guess that's why you have a team around you, didn't you, to help you make the decisions as a fighter. You literally, I don't want to sound like John Fury, I'll fight any man, but you'd fight anyone, like, as a fighter. You don't care. You want to see how good you are. And when I was offered the Golovkin fight, I said, yeah, I'll fight him. And then Tony and Eddie sat down and decided, rightly so, there's better avenues to go down. And I'm forever thankful that they made that decision.
So that was around the time. Was that around the time of like Matt Macklin and before the Danny Jacobs fight when he fought like Gabe Rosado and all that, when he was just bashing people to pieces? Lemieux, he smashed them up. Was it then? Was it?
Yeah. So it was 2011. I just lost to Sergio Martinez, and I think I had a bit of a target on my back in the sense that Martinez was number one in the division, and I think everyone wanted to better what Martinez had done to me. So Golovkin, if he can get me done in before 11 rounds, then he looks like the governor. But yeah, it didn't happen, and I have absolutely zero regrets that I didn't share the ring with Gennady Golovkin. It all worked out perfect, didn't it?
My favourite fighter of all time, man.
Oh, mate, what a fighter! What a fighter! Yeah. We could do another episode on Golovkin. So anyway, that's Tyson Fury, Mudov. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on the fight. I'm with Sonny. I think it's a decent comeback fight. Who does he fight next? Sonny, this weekend there's a couple of shows. There's a double header. One that I'm really, really looking forward to, and I'm sure you are, as well as the boxing public, is the rematch, Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington. The first fight surprised a few, I think, and then Leigh Wood doing what Leigh Wood does. He found that shot, didn't he? And got the job done. Looking forward to this one, mate.
Yeah, I am. I watched it a couple of days ago, the first fight. You weren't on the broadcast, was you? It was Froch, wasn't it? Or was you that night?
Can't remember.
I know Froch was doing it with Mike Costello. I can't remember if I heard your voice or not. I just wondered if you got booted out that night.
Yeah.
Was you there then?
Maybe.
Was you there for that fight?
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was a fucking great fight, though, wasn't it?
I haven't watched that one back yet, but I will watch it back today. But yeah, it was a fantastic fight. It really was, wasn't it? And I think Josh Warrington surprised a lot of people, didn't he? He surprised a lot of people. Yeah.
I thought he was winning handily. I really
he was.
did.
He was up on all three scorecards.
Yeah. I just thought he was peppering him. I don't know. I got with pals John and Kai yesterday, and they were saying no, he weren't winning handily. And I thought, God, I just remember he was. And when I watched it the other day, I thought he had the upper hand big time in the first 6 rounds or so. But Leigh Wood at that time was that fighter, wasn't he? It's like he was never. You could never write him off, no matter if it's the last 10 seconds of the fight, as Michael found out.
Yeah, I'll read them out then. Reese Mould, 9th round. Kanzu, 12th round. Michael Conlon, 12th round. And that one, Josh Warrington, 7th round. Like, he's Hollywood. Honestly, he's, and I say that a lot, don't I? He's box office. He is. He just finds a way. For how long can you keep finding that shot?
That's the problem. So he did keep on finding it, but it was only a matter of time when someone was able to take his power, and that happened when he finally fought Kakachi. However, the caveat to that is that for some reason, and I still don't know the reason, and I'm baffled to as why, and I really want to know because I'm just intrigued that he'd had a year and a half out the ring to that point. So after beating Josh Warrington, it's like you're now a monster UK star, and he vanished. And I'm like, why? I mean, I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, coming back to after that into that Kakachi fight, it was like, yeah, he was up against it with a year and a half of inactivity, and Kakachi was on a real run of form after beating Cordina. So, yeah, look, back in around that time, he was a force to be reckoned with, Leigh Wood, and that right hand was always there. In this fight, I mean, Josh Warrington is the one who's on a real downward spiral of form. just hasn't looked himself since all the way back before the Lara fight, really. So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's put in some decent performances. He's just been... His power was always going to be a problem, Josh Warrington, because, I mean, I think he's got 8 knockouts in his... however many fights he's had. And at the top level, that can sometimes come back to haunt you, because when you get to that very top level, obviously the chins are better and people walk through punches a bit more. And he was also going to come unstuck at some point, because someone was going to walk through his lack of power and just put it on him. And that's what Lara did. So he's the one in a more downward spiral of form. But Leigh Wood's got that inactivity there as well. So it makes it so 50-50, this fight, and I absolutely love it. I'm leaning towards Josh myself, based on what he did in that first fight. And I think he might find a way to avoid the power this time. What do you say?
And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, as well? Like, if Josh was to win this fight, I think the only fight out there for him, really, the ages of 35, Josh Warrington and Leigh Wood being 37, there's probably a third fight between the two of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
Prediction?
It's a real tough one. You know, it's that, who said it about having to stay switched on for every second of every round? You know, that's the case with Leigh Wood, whereas Josh Warrington, as well as he was doing, can he avoid getting stuck in? He's just got that bit between his teeth, and when his crowd get going, he just wants to get stuck in, and that will be, or could be, his downfall. I remember Cole Frampton always saying as well, he thought that Josh Warrington punched harder than his record suggests. I know Cole jumps up weights, etc., but I think when he fought him,
I remember him saying that, yeah.
Naturally not as big, but still just said that he punched with more authority than his record suggests. But I love the fight. I think it's a really good fight. There's jeopardy in it. How far can they go? Can they push on? I mean, you look at the ratings. Jazza, Kakachi, again, they fought Shaki Foster, Navarrete, Nunes, Raymond Ford. I mean, they're up there at the minute, aren't they? And I just feel if Josh Warrington was to get the win, I think a third fight probably makes the most sense. And if Josh Warrington was to lose again, it has to be curtains. It has to be the end of his career, right? There is no coming back after that.
Yeah, I can't really see much for either of them after this. I think you're bang on. The only thing that's really there is if Josh Warrington wins and they have a third one, which makes total sense. But if Leigh wins, it's like, what's the point of carrying on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He made a bundle of money. It's a heavy set division. Do you really think you can make another go of it? I don't know. I don't see it. I think you might as well just roll off into the sunset. He's had a lot of wars, any Leigh Wood. So why carry on? I don't see much point. But not that you give a fuck what I think. You know what I mean? If he wants to carry on, he will. But yeah, just looking at the outlay of the division and whatnot, I'd see it as a nice little swan song if he were to win. However, not that I get many right. I just feel like Josh may do it this time. I think he'll have the bit between his teeth, and I feel he'll have trained his bollocks off for this one, because he's got a real gripe there of how the last one ended. After, you know, I'm not saying he had it in the bag, but I'm saying he was in fine form and looking good, looking like he was going to take it. So, I think we may see a very tenacious Josh Warrington this time, much more so than we've seen in the last couple of years. And by the way, like, the Kakachi loss weren't actually a bad performance, really. It's just Kakachi is brilliant. As in the Josh Warrington Kakachi loss was better than Leigh Wood's. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So, great fight. Cannot wait, mate.
A couple, just very quickly, just your thoughts on three fighters on the undercard. Ishmael Davis, Bilal Fawaz. I like that fight. I think it's a
boy.
Yeah, I like it. But I do.
Ishmael, my boy.
I'm doing a little mini face-off with him at the press conference.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow. It'll be fun. Yeah.
I love him. I love Bilal. I'd really, like, bit of bias in that. I love Ishmael Davis, but I've just got a little soft spot for Bilal for what he's done, and just how excited excitable he is by everything that's coming his way now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
You see him get signed with Eddie, and he was just giving him a great big hug, wasn't he? He went, oh, he just hugged him. And most boxers are like, oh, fucking promoters, you know what I mean? Bilal's just hugging him, and he's had a real interesting story. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a very deep story, so people look out for that. So, yeah, just got a soft spot for him. I'd love him to win this. I mean, I know how much it means to him. I feel like
I think Ishmael wins it.
Yeah, I think it's a very tough fight for Belal at the level he's been at compared to Ishmael. Ishmael being in there with bloody Boachuk, Josh Kelly, even
Sam Gilly last time looked good, didn't he?
Sam Gilly looked good. So, yeah, I would expect Ishmael to win, but you never know.
And the White Rhino is back. Dave Allen.
He is.
Yeah, he's back. I'm not too sure what the goals and the ambitions for Dave are. I mean, he's transitioning nicely, isn't he, into the media. Got a nice little number with TalkSport. He picked up a little title, didn't he, when he beat Fisher? What's the goals now? I'm not too sure, but I'll tell you what, every time he makes his ring walk, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we're just riffing, I feel like his goals would solely be that British title, TKV, or even another Johnny Fisher fight. Yeah. I'm expecting it's the British title because he's always talked about a title to take up. And I know he won some form of a title when he beat Johnny Fisher the second time, but it wouldn't be as prestigious as winning the British title, would it? So, yeah, something like that. I see that being his, well, I mean, who knows what he's thinking, but yeah, I see that being probably one of the main goals in his head alongside. But then again, if he get offered a shit ton more money to go elsewhere for a fight that doesn't involve a title, then he's going to go there, isn't he? You know what I mean? If Johnny Fisher has an emphatic win somewhere along the line and that fight's called on and, you know, it can, I'm not saying it will sell out the O2, but, you know what I mean, in some capacity, if it could sell out like a Wembley Stadium, Wembley Arena, 10K.
Don't get carried away, Sonny.
Yeah, like a 10K venue, because I know Copperbox is like 8,000, but like, yeah, if Dave sees dollar signs elsewhere, he will go elsewhere other than the British title. That's all I'm saying. But I feel like
I love Dave. I'd love him to pick up a British title. Man, I'd be so buzzing for him. But I'm just so glad he's all set for what the next part of his life looks like, and that's what I'm most happy about. Do you know what I mean? So,
are you a bit disappointed that TKV's gone elsewhere from Johnny Fisher? I am.
Yeah. Look, it would have been a huge ask for Johnny, but he was up for it, wasn't he, Johnny? Like, come on, give me the opportunity. Let me fight for the British title. You know one thing for sure, Johnny would have given it 110%, would have got right in TKV's face, and what would have happened. Do you know what I mean? But he would have given it his all, and I would bang up for that fight.
Yeah, who knows what the truth is on what side, but Ben Shalom had his version of events and Eddie had his version of events. And Eddie, I kind of was leaning towards Eddie's side because he was saying, you know, we had this date and then they said that was the only date they couldn't do. And then they offered another date and they still turned it down. I don't know. But I just thought, you know what I mean? Johnny was fucking gutted, apparently. Johnny really wanted it. So, but then again, if he's fighting Reactpoor TKV, which seems to be the case, then that's a tough fight. So he's not, you know, moving away from Johnny into a sort of pony fight. That's a good fight. So hey ho, is what it is.
Yeah. Well, let us know who wins, Josh Warrington, Lee Wood, and what happens to the winner and the loser. And then over the pond, Sonny, the second of our fights on Saturday is an intriguing one, must be said. I feel like it's gone under the radar a little bit in the UK, and that's Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios for the WBC world title. I think we know about this fight because it could be a potential opponent of Conor Benn's, the winner that is. What's your thoughts on the fight first off?
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a decent fight, to be honest. Do you know what? I just have to think about it because Ryan Garcia, he gives my arse an headache. I'm not kidding. He really does. Yeah, it should be a decent fight. I'm probably getting boring because I've said this so many times, but I just don't know what we're gonna see from Ryan. It's hard to predict. It really is because the Rowley fight was a country mile off the performance that he put in for Devin Haney. But obviously, in between that, he's failed a drug test. So it's like, and also he was 4 pounds heavier than he should have been on the weigh-in day.
Agree.
So, you know, at the end of the day, he was enhanced to the fucking max for that fight, for the Haney fight. And then he comes into the Rowley fight. I know he'd had a year out the ring off the back of a drugs ban, his own fault. But he was very, very average. And, yeah, I just I don't know what I'm going to get, really. I'm expecting Barrios to give him a few nightmares. I mean, if this had been 2 years ago, I'd have said Ryan's going to win, hands down. But now I just don't know. I'm wondering if Ryan's a flash in the pan. I really do. I mean, he's extremely quick. He's extremely fast. But is that all he's got? I don't know. Yeah. So I know Barrios is a tough and hearty fighter. I'm expecting him to be. He's just not the best in his division, Barrios. I know he's a world champ, but he's just not. But he is very game. He's only been stopped by Gervonta Davis, and that was a lower weight. Yeah. So I'm expecting him to be tough. I'm expecting him to be on top of Ryan all the time, and he's going to have a good gas tank, Barrios. So I think it's going to get hard for Ryan in there. And I think if you don't get him out early, I think it's going to be a fucking nightmare for him. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think Barrios is a bad fighter at all. I know he had the draw with Pacquiao and he's lost to Furman and Davis, but I don't think he's bad. And my big question with Ryan Garcia is how much does he care? How much does he want it? Is he that bothered? Is he just fighting because he knows he's going to get a nice chunk of money every time he fights and just thinks, so what? I'm not sure if the Barrios fight is the fight that's going to get the best out of Ryan Garcia. I think he needs a massive name. He needs that Haney. He needs, because he's got world titles. It's not like he's driven and he's striving towards boxing greatness. I don't get that impression from Ryan Garcia. I think it's more money, and he needs that big sort of win where he can have bragging rights. So, you know, although Conor Benn has yet to prove himself at world level, I think a big name like Conor Benn, can you imagine the build-up? I think the build-up in that fight you'd like to think, bring the best out of Ryan Garcia. I just think Barrios is going to be up for this fight more than Ryan Garcia, in my opinion. And I think he's just going to, I think he's going to give Garcia nightmares. I think it's a pick-em, really. I can see Garcia walking Barrios onto shots, but I think they're going to be so far and few between. I just don't think he's... I'm expecting a fight where you're just expecting or you're wanting more from Ryan Garcia. Could be wrong. He could show up and show us what we've all been missing, come out and put those blistering combinations together, land spiteful shots and look $1 million and scare the life out of everyone. But I've got a gut feeling that it's going to be a little flat, perhaps for the first few rounds anyway.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, I suppose I disagree because I think I understand this fight, him taking this fight. It's a world title and it leads on to something massive. He gets that WBC title with the world's his oyster. How the fucking hell he's ended up getting the opportunity for the WBC title, I will never know, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's it really is. How long's a piece of string? You know what I mean, with Ryan Garcia at the minute. We'll find out Saturday night. He may resort to what he was in that Devin Haney fight, and you know what I mean. All along that this drug stuff was a load of rubbish. I don't know, but it's a serious juxtaposition what he did from the Haney fight to the Rowley fight. It was like night and day. So something is seriously amiss there.
And I think that's the intrigue in this fight. is what Ryan Garcia is going to show up. And we're all hoping it's one of old, one that can show real class, real world class. And I really hope, as a fan of the sport, that he does look $1 million. And I'll be honest, I kind of hope he does win, because I love the idea of a Ryan Garcia Conor Benn fight. I do.
Yeah.
But that would be me sat down Saturday night thinking, come on, what you got left, Ryan Garcia? How much do you want this? And we know Mario Barrios is going to give it as always, a proud champion. So I think it could be a good fight, but I just hope it's a fight that doesn't disappoint from a Ryan Garcia perspective. And then Conor Benn. I'm all for that fight. I don't know about you, Sonny.
I'll bang up for Conor Benn. Yeah, I'll bang up for the Conor Benn fight. Just purely for I don't give a fuck what the fight's like. The build-up's going to be amazing. I know the fight's going to be good because Conor is always exciting to watch. He just is. So, the fight will surely deliver. I see Conor fucking blasting him away, to be honest. But regardless of that, the build-up's there, the intrigue, the war of the words and that. It'll be a mega fight. So, for the sake of boxing, I want Ryan to win. For the sake of the fact that he drives me up the fucking wall, I want him to lose, because he's still banging on about this Haney fight. And I'm thinking, mate, you can't be going on about that Haney fight when you failed a drug test afterwards. You come in 4 pounds overweight and everything. You can't be like claiming that as a legitimate victory.
Yeah.
Like, it's not right what he did that fight. So anyway, yeah, that's just personal preference. But I do want the Conor Benn fight afterwards. I do. He'll be there front row when he's actually picking Barrios to win. Conor Benn.
It's interesting. Interesting. I'm not ruling Barrios out. I tell you, he can fight. He can fight.
I think he'll do it, Barrios. I really do. I think he'll just come on top of him. Cause him nightmares. He said another. What was it? May last year, that New York Times Square card. So, maths, June, July, August. It's another 10 months or so, innit, of inactivity. I know Barrios is probably similar. But yeah, who knows? We'll find out.
Let us know then. I want to know from the viewers what your opinion on Ryan Garcia is. Is he a bigger draw, as myself and Sonny think? And is it a fight you'd like to see Conor Benn in the future? I think, as Sonny says, the build-up will be absolutely epic. So let us know. There's a couple more topics, Sonny, just quickly before I let you go. Dubois Wardley, that's confirmed, May 9th. We have touched on this, but just your thoughts on that fight one last time before we get closer to it. And also, where do you think the winner goes after that fight?
Good question. Don't know, really. I don't know, because Usyk is moving mad, as the kids say. So, I don't know. Maybe a Kabayel. I don't know, but then he's been mandated to fight Usyk.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, the logical answer would be Tyson Fury, but not going to go over that again. I just don't see that happening myself, the winner of this fight. So, don't know. You really stumped me there, bruv.
I'll tell you what, though, Sonny. I'll tell you one thing we both agree. That is one hell of a fight. That is... it's just so good. I know we spoke about it, but I just love talking about this fight. It's just bombs away, isn't it? It's absolute fireworks from start to finish. And I guarantee you, I'll have a bet with anyone that this don't go 12 rounds.
Oh, no. Fuck me. That's the easiest bet in the world, that is. Odds on, bruv. No way does it go 12 rounds. Somebody's getting knocked spark out, aren't they? I mean, they hit too hard for each one to not. So it's just who gets there first. I think you're going to see a slight level above in boxing display from Daniel Dubois. He's 1-2. His jab is lethal in the heavyweight division. So
Yeah.
that is going to be better than Fabio Wardley's on the night. And pure experience is obviously miles more so than Fabio Wardley. But Fabio Wardley, it's like a fucking mule kicks. So at some point, I do see him clocking Daniel. And I am intrigued to know how Daniel will react to that. So it's funny with Daniel because he reacted. Joshua in their fight nailed him. He nailed him in that 5th round, and Daniel took it. Hrgovic nailed him a few times, and he took it. But then the Usyk fights. I was going to say the Joe Joyce one, but I know the eye injury, that must have been grim. But the Usyk fights, that was more of a case of obviously he was worn down and then, he got knocked down and that was that. But it's going to be intriguing to see how he deals with Fabio's power, and it's going to be intriguing to see how Fabio deals with Daniel's everything. Power, jab, 1-2, just pure tenacity of Daniel Dubois. It's just unbelievable, man. Puts real blood.
I don't question Dubois' heart anymore, and I know he got a bit of stick after the Usyk fight, but I'm with you. I think he was just so mentally fatigued and drained. But I think I'll always say that when he wants to be, as tough as he wants, after he fought Miller. After that Miller fight, I thought that you've shown you've got a big set of bollocks.
Yeah.
And I thought, that Daniel Dubois is there. And like you said, Hrgovic caught him. Like how many right hands he caught him with. It was ridiculous. He ended up winning the fight, didn't he? So, yeah, I'm not questioning his heart at all, Dubois. I just think Fabio Wardley is just, it's ridiculous. It's only a matter of time. I think a film will come out of Fabio Wardley whilst he's still fighting. His story's that great.
The other thing is, the one thing we didn't mention was that, as much as Daniel hits very hard and, Fabio notoriously does get hit, it's more about you have to nail Fabio to the canvas in order for him to not stop coming at you. So can Daniel do that? You know what I mean? And also, he's at his very best, Fabio, when people are on top of him, when he's on the ropes and he's in dire straits. It's like, that's when he's almost at his best, and he's throwing these fucking lobbing bombs and that, and people are like, Jesus Christ, I thought I was the one on top of you, but I'm not, apparently. You're just coming back to me. So, I love it.
Something else to point out, if you're watching any of the Dubois fights at home, have a look at his footwork. His footwork's brilliant, and that's going to be key to success for him, I think. Jab, take a little step back, throw that hand. Like, he's so cute on his feet. He really is. He doesn't exaggerate the movement. He's really, really good, and they're key when you fight someone that doesn't have the pedigree like Fabio, who's still learning on the job. Regardless, I know he's a world champion, but he still is. I think,
Can I just
footwork.
ask, I know, talking about Sam Jones with this stuff, but would you, as a manager, having just lost to Usyk, which is no shame in that at all, of course, having just lost to Usyk, would you put your fighter in and got knocked out in the process? I know he did get up and walk away, so he wasn't flat out cold. But having had a knockout on your record like that against the best fighter in the world, would you, as a manager, put your fighter in with Fabio Wardley, who we know is a lethal operator?
Yeah,
probably. In the next fight, would you do that?
Probably. It's so hard for me, and this is why I was no good at managing, or I wouldn't be good being that close to fighters, because I'm always thinking as a fighter all the time. It's very hard to distance yourself from being the fighter. And I would, as soon as I had lost a fight, I want to get straight back in with the best. I want to right the wrong. I want to get in there, and I want to be challenging for the biggest opportunities that are out there for me personally. So, it may have been a conversation that Dubois had with Sam Jones and said, look, I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to touch. I don't want to, and a nice easy outing. I want to get straight back in there. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to train for it. I need to be training scared. I've got to be frightened every time I step in the gym, or you're not going to get the best out of me. So I understand it. I mean, for me, that as a former fighter, I want the toughest challenges out there as possible.
Yeah.
But in the I totally get that, because a lot of fighters would say that, you know what I mean? They're not afraid to step up to a challenge, and they'll always want the biggest opportunity. But in the same way that Tony Sims, and interestingly, Tony Sims is a name that, you know, will relate to this, because he was training Daniel. So I wonder if there was a bit of, in the same way that Tony Sims almost stopped you from fighting Golovkin, is there a chance that Tony Sims thought that the Fabio Wardley fight was not the right route to go down? Do you know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it was a different road for me to go down to get the world title that I did end up getting. Obviously, an easier route. But that was always going to take two or three fights to get to it. Whereas Golovkin was straight away. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know, you do need to have a good team around you, and I don't know. It's high risk, but it's high reward. This for Dubois, there is that risk that you could get poleaxed by Wardley, but if you win, you're world champion again. I think he's good enough. He's good enough to win the world title again. But yeah. That's right. You got to have a good team around you. Yeah, good question.
Anyway, yeah, bloody love it.
Hey, I'll just quickly
got this in Manchester. I've got to be honest.
Now, get on the train, you lazy son. Honestly, you're in Australia, and you were born in
Good
Mars.
point.
You're from Mars, and you're on Earth. So I don't know what you're bothered about. It's only Manchester. And lastly, just very quickly on the division. The heavyweight division, Usyk, Kabayel ordered, as you've already mentioned, I think, in this show for the WBC. But what I find weird about this, bearing in mind Kabayel has been the champion since he beat Zhang last February, Usyk's allowed a voluntary.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Well, the sole reason that the WBC have done this now is purely because Fury's back, right? But I ain't got listen, people probably think I've got a vendetta against the WBC. It's not that. It's just that it's so obvious how they work, that they're working always towards the biggest money, the biggest paydays, the biggest 3% they can possibly get. And they'll always make moves when the fighters that provide that are in the mix. So they could have called this fight, Usyk and Kabayel, 7 months ago when Usyk beat Dubois, but they didn't. And the reason they didn't is because Fury weren't in the mix. So they didn't want to call it on because they didn't want, you know, bloody whoever fighting Usyk and jeopardizing a fight with Fury in case he come out the woodwork too early. But now Fury's back. They've gone in Bosch and they've gone, right, let's have Usyk Kabayel. We expect basically get in the minds of the WBC. They or Maurizio Salami solely. They're expecting Usyk to smash Kabayel. They're expecting Fury to smash Mudov. Maybe there's a fight in between for Fury. I don't know. We'll see. But off the back of that, then they can call on Fury Usyk for the third fight. So don't think that they're doing Kabayel a favour all of a sudden, because they could have done that 7 months ago. Kabayel's been floating around, and luckily it was in his favour because, like, off the cuff, it was in his favour because he went to Germany and we all found out, bloody hell, he's got a great big fan base. So, but anyway, the point is, he should have had that Usyk opportunity straight away. But he didn't. They've waited till now because, lo and behold, Fury's back in the mix and they could see a route for Fury to get through to Usyk. And as I say, they'll put Fury number one after this Mudov fight. And it'll be all roads leading to Fury Usyk. All roads will lead to Fury getting a WBC title. That's what is on the cards. And I fucking guarantee you that. I guarantee you by the end of 2026, if not sooner than that Fury will have some version of the world title, WBC.
All right, Sonny. Well, always good to chew the fat with you, mate. Finish it with your usual BS.
Yeah, like and subscribe, everyone. But more importantly, thank you for listening. We very much enjoy your company. Love you lots. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.